Hey everybody, welcome once again to Health Coach Tip Tuesday. If you are ready to jump in, I want you to type the word client into the chat and we are going to send you our 10 tips and tools for your online coaching business. Welcome to the Health Coach Tip Tuesday show, where every week we share tips, tools, and resources for health coaches and professionals so that you can confidently solve your clients' health issues and grow your career as a health coach or professional. I am your co-host and FDN Director of Course Enrollment, Piper Gibson. And joining me today, we are having a Gen Jam this week, is Jenn Malecha. And we are going to be talking about how to get clients despite COVID-19. How are you, Jenn?
I am doing fantastic, except for this streak that I got on my glasses here. I was like, why does it look foggy out of one eye? But otherwise, it's a fabulous Tuesday here in San Diego. And I'm really excited to talk about this topic today because I think that there's just this kind of misconception out there that it's that people aren't spending money or ready to invest in their health. And I'm seeing something going on completely different in my business and within our community too. And I can't wait to share some of that information today.
Yeah, I'm really excited because we have been hearing from a lot of health coaches that in this time of COVID that they're really worried about finding clients. But you actually had something really interesting happen. You went into our Facebook group the other day and you were posting about how last week you enrolled 3 clients in 1 week. But what was really awesome was that the other FDNs in the group started posting. I did too.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I do not know what's going on.
Yeah.
Issues. Anyway, that some of the other FDNs got on there and they were like, I booked 3 clients, I booked 2 clients. So I would love for you to share your experience with business through this whole COVID-19 thing.
Yeah, well, I just think there's a different perspective that we can have on this that I want to share about first. And that is that, yes, we're all dealing with a pandemic, around the world, right? And I think that when the pandemic initially hit, there was a lot of uncertainty. And don't get me wrong, there still is uncertainty. But what we've also have seen is that many of our states, cities, countries, other businesses have stepped up to the plate and provided a lot of financial support and resources for people to keep moving on with their lives. And actually what we're seeing is that a lot of people are, still working from home too. So, there is definitely been a higher unemployment rate than we've had before. But people are receiving unemployment still. And again, we've seen this huge transition of people working virtually, right? And so a couple of things that are coming out as a part of this pandemic is that one is that people want more virtual services. So people, health coaches like us that work virtually with our clients already, I haven't really seen an impact in my business in being able to service clients because I already had a virtual platform to work with them on. And for people out there that weren't working virtually with people in their businesses, we're seeing businesses move to a virtual space. So that in general definitely opens up a lot of opportunity for health coaches, to either grow their virtual business or to start a virtual business, because we're seeing a need for that. And here's the other thing, and I've shared this, I think, on the show before, when this all kind of first happened, is that what is the pandemic doing really? It is causing every single person to take a deeper look at their health and trying to understand, what might make them more susceptible to getting COVID-19, right?
Right.
And so I, talked to so many people, and there's this whole introspective that's happening. We're stuck at home. We can't go out and do a lot of the same things that we normally do. So what do? You sit around and you contemplate what's going on in your life, right? So maybe some of those health issues that people had before that were nagging them, that they just kept ignoring, now they can't really ignore them because they don't have as many other things to distract them, in their day, right? And then they're also recognizing how incredibly important it is to prioritize their health in order to avoid getting COVID or avoid any pandemics or things or disease that might happen in the future. So I kind of sum this up and say that there is like a hyper awareness around health right now. And oftentimes it takes a catastrophic event for somebody to finally realize that their health is a priority and it's worth savings, right? So like somebody will have a heart attack, or they get diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, or having high blood pressure. Or, a catastrophic event is something that might put them in the hospital, or, some kind of diagnosis. That's what we qualify a catastrophic event. And so really what's happening in the world right now is everybody is going through a catastrophic event, because this pandemic thing has put the value of your life like on the lines, essentially. And that's where I think that there, again, is a lot of opportunity for health coaches right now, because we are accessible to people. It's hard to get in to see a doctor at this point in time. I mean, I just called the other day, Piper, to get my cat scheduled an appointment with a cardiologist, and it was 3 months until I could get my cat in to see the cardiologist.
Wow.
So I can only imagine what might be happening for people that are trying to schedule, with their doctor. And unless it's like a light threatening thing, like most of these, what do they call them? Like elective procedures, or, kind of annual physicals are being pushed off. So who do you have access to? You have access to health coaches. And here we are to service people and help them get through this, and actually help them come out better on the other side. And the other thing that I'll just lastly add to this perspective is that, people have more time on their hands. So oftentimes what's one of the objections for why somebody doesn't, enroll in your program or hire you as a health coach is because they don't have the time. They're so busy. And now that they're not commuting to work, that they obviously, like you have kids at home, you have to spend more time with kids and maybe homeschooling, but there are other things that have come off of our plate that are giving us more time. And let's also talk about how much money that people are actually saving, because they're not, buying gas and commuting. They're not ordering lunch or dinner out regularly or spending money on Starbucks. So people are actually saving more money than they think that they are right now. And all of that can be invested back in their health, basically.
I agree. And I think that, when you point that out, that, there's places that you can come up with the money, it really makes a difference. You have that aha moment. Oh yeah, you're right. Like I am not having $5 worth of Starbucks every day, and over a period of time, a month, that really adds up. Mm-hmm. So if you guys are watching, we would love to know, let us know if you are really aware of your own health right now, and how has the COVID really affected you, and how aware of your health are you? So definitely drop that in the chat, Jen, and I would love to know. One of the things I really want to know, Jen, is how did you pivot in your business when this started happening? Like, what did you do? What kind of changes did you make to really keep the clients coming in?
Yeah. So I really took it as an opportunity to get more visible. That was my pivot. That was probably the biggest pivot that I took. And this is actually something that we supported our entire FDN community with. And we talk about getting visible. Like, what does that mean? It means getting out in front of people. So here you have more people on the internet and on social media than ever before, because they're bored at home. They're searching for information on social media. And so if you are out on social media, you're able to get in front of them. So when this all initially happened, I committed to doing an Instagram Live and a Facebook Live every single day to be more visible to people, to be a resource, to support them, to encourage them. That helps me to grow my social media following. And it also, when we're doing that, when we create this visibility, it helps us to build rapport and trust with those people, so that when they do think about who they're going to invest their money in, what health coach that they're going to hire, they're going to think of you, because they've seen you enough times to know that you know your stuff, and to know that you're a real person and somebody you're a reliable and credible source, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so I started with that, and then what I did is I kind of built onto that, and then I said, okay, what is something that I can provide, like, that's valuable to people, that's going to help them through this time, but it's also like a low cost, like easy, thing for them to do. And there is a cleanse challenge that I have run in my business for a long time, and it had actually been about 2 years since I ran it last. And I just felt really called to bring back the cleanse challenge. And normally I would do my cleanse challenge and sell it for anywhere from like $40 or $50 to $120 a person. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to do this COVID-19 style and really offer up like a financial, resource for people. And so I dropped the price to $28 and I marketed it as it was a 28-day program. And you basically just pay $1 a day was like the price point for it, essentially. And so these types of like group programs or cleanses or challenges that we run are another great way to get people in front of us. Again, it's a low cost, easy opt-in offer for somebody to say yes to. They get to work with you, a little bit in the group program. They get to experience your style. They kind of get to take you for a test drive, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then you're also building trust and rapport with them. And at the end of the program, I always make an offer for people to work one-on-one with me. I give them a discount if they decide to take the work to the next level and do some one-on-one work where we can do the lab testing and really get down into what it is that they need. Because the cleanse challenge will help them. It's some of the basic principles and foundations of health. But usually what they find is that they'll make progress and then they need, they're not getting all the results that they want because we need to go deeper. And so that's an opportunity for them to then move up and do that additional work with me, essentially. So those are two things that I really, really focused on, towards the end of March into April, and then the beginning half of May, that helped me kind of pivot in this time where it was a little uncertain. We weren't really sure where things were going. And yes, things are still uncertain, but I think in the uncertainty that we have now, there's also a little bit of stability where people are accepting that, okay, this is the time that we're living in and we have to move on with our lives. And now they're really looking to what is that next step and being able to move on with my life, basically.
I agree. And I've really seen a lot of that too, is that a lot of people are really coming to aware of their health. They're starting to come out and ask for help. And so I think when you are definitely more visible and putting yourself out there, people are going to say, oh yeah, I've seen her. I'm going to work with her. Mm-hmm. So I know that you have 3 things that you like to share, your 3 C's. So would you tell everybody what those 3 C's are and how that helps your business?
Yeah, and I shared this with our community last week when I enrolled those 3 clients in 1 week, which by the way brought in $9,000 in 1 week in my health coaching business. A lot of people ask well, how are you doing that? How do you do that? And here's the cool thing is that it's really simple. I didn't run a single Facebook ad. I wasn't, optimizing SEO or some of these other things that I think that we can get really wrapped around the axle with in terms of how, we see all these other people out there on the internet creating business and how are they doing that? We think that we need to be doing those things. So the 3 C's are, and here's the things that I apply in my business repeatedly, over and over again. These are the foundations. Is 1 is having a clear message. So when you have clarity in your messaging, that is the core. There's another C for you. That is the core of your marketing. When you can provide a clear message, then other people, like those potential clients out there, they'll read that message and they'll say, yes, I know exactly what this person does. And I know that person has the solution for me. So the question is, well, where do you get this clear message? How do you come up with message clarity? And the secret in message clarity is really your own health story. I think that every single health coach that I've ever talked to has gotten into this line of work because they have a personal health story or they have a family member with a personal health story that has inspired them to become a health coach. And that's what people want to see, because when our clients come to us, as Reed teaches us in the course, is that they want to know, can you help me? Have you helped others like me? And do you know what's wrong with me? Mm-hmm. And when we are sharing our story relentlessly, they can see that, yes, we've helped others like them because we are like them. And yes, we know what's wrong with them because we knew what was wrong with ourselves to fix it, or we're on the path to fixing it. And we've helped others like them as well, too, because we're helping ourselves. And I will always say, if you're looking for message clarity, look within, because I guarantee you that your ideal clients are going to be a version of you. You guys are going to be cut from the same cloth. So same type of behaviors, characteristics, problems, like common issues that you've dealt with, and then whatever your solutions have been are going to be probably their solutions too as a result of this. Your experience in life has trained you to help the person that is like you, basically. So that's C number one. C number two is to have concise packages. And this is where I see health coaches like fumble a lot, is that they get into a consultation with a very ideal client and then they don't have a concise package offering. So they stumble over their words and they lack confidence when they are then presenting their packages and their offer to the person on the other line. And that can all be felt by the potential client. And then they start, if you're questioning yourself, they're going to question you too. So having like concise packages, and what does that mean? Like standard package offerings that you're very confident about and clear on what is included in them. You're able to confidently talk about the investment in your package and communicate that information to somebody, explain what they're getting out of it, and explain, you know, what that investment is and are there payment plans and how does that work. So when you know that going into a conversation, again, it gives you that confidence to back it up. So in my program, I have 3 concise packages. I don't do anything custom. When we start to like get on the phone and we do a custom package for somebody, that's when we start again fumbling and stumbling over our words and we're trying to calculate the price, and then it comes off as disorganized and you're instantly losing trust and value in the person that's on the other line with you, right?
Yeah.
So that's super important. And then the last one is consistency. And this one is key. This comes back to like marketing again, and that you have to consistently put yourself out in front of people. You know, even if you, especially if you're online, because if you have a brick and mortar business, people can drive by, they see your sign, you put a sandwich board outside that tells them about a promotion that's happening or something. And like you'll get natural traffic by people just walking down the street or driving down the street. But when you have a virtual business, you're not out on the street somewhere for somebody to naturally see that information. And we like to think that I can just put a website up and I can search engine optimize SEO a website, which is true, you can do, and also takes a lot of work. Yeah. But even with that, you still have to drive traffic to your website. And so you still need to be doing things that are going to gain visibility with that. And so consistency with visibility means like, you know, being consistent about social media posting, or being consistent about sending out a blog or a newsletter, being consistent about your message that you're sharing, being consistent about the packages that you're offering. Like consistency kind of encompasses everything. And I think what happens sometimes is, as health coaches, and I know that I have felt this way, and sometimes I still feel this way occasionally, is we get stuck in that imposter syndrome of, well, you know, nobody is like engaging in my social media posts. They're not liking it. Nobody's commenting. Then we go down the rabbit hole of like, who am I to help people? I haven't even fixed myself, right? And we start self-doubting all along the way. But here's the thing. There are people watching you. I like to call them silent stalkers. And health is a very vulnerable topic for a lot of people. So when we're posting about health, especially maybe on like Facebook, where people can easily see each other's comments and get notified about it, people are going to be automatically less likely to like or comment on your post versus, you know, maybe something like Instagram where you don't get notified about every comment. They might be more willing to comment, but even then they may not be. But the thing is that they are watching you. And I repeatedly, Piper, all the time have people message me on Instagram or Facebook and comment like, oh, this post really spoke to me. I've been following you for a while. I'm so glad you've been sharing this information. And I had no idea that they were following me. Or, you know, people will schedule a consultation with me and they will make these same kind of comments too. And here's one of the things that I know in my business is that on average, you know, somebody is on my email list or will follow me for 6 months before they end up purchasing or buying something from me. So before they enroll as a client. And so this is just an example of how important it is to be consistent, because when we're consistent, again, we're building that trust and rapport with them. And they're getting to know us. And then when they feel comfortable, when the time is right, they will reach out to schedule that consultation with you and they will enroll to be a client with you. And when I look back at the way that I got those 3 clients, those were the core components that got me those 3 clients that helped me bring in $9,000 in 1 week.
That's incredible. And I think those are all fantastic tips, and they're all doable things. They're not things that we're like, oh, I can't do it because, Jenn's just Jenn and Jenn can do it. Those are all easily doable things that if you concentrate on them over time are really going to pay off.
Yes. And I'll just add here too, like one of the things that we say in FDN, like, people often ask, well, what is the requirement to be an FDN? And one of our things that we say is that you have to be willing to walk the talk, right? And so when as some people might be listening to us right now or watching this replay, they might be thinking, well, I don't know what to share. I don't know how to create a clear message. Well, if you're just walking the talk as an FDN, which is exactly what I do, is that it's naturally, people are going to gravitate to that. Like we've had, some of our students share that they have a waiting list of clients once they graduate from the course because they've been sharing their experience and what they're learning over time. And like people are reaching out to them and saying, yes, I want that. Like, I want to work with you when you're done. Like, and then they have a waiting list waiting for them. And so it's like, this is what's really cool about being an FDN is that we're not the average health coach. So the information that I'm sharing is about, functional lab testing and how that provides insights to making recommendations and lifestyle changes. And then my personal experience with that, or my clients' now personal experience with that I can share too.
And I really relate to that walk the talk part because yes, when I originally started out in the FDN course, it was really to help my son to find some answers. But because I had to test myself and I was like, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm fine. When I tested myself, when I started going through my health history, when I started putting it all together, the light bulb went off and I started to realize, wow, like all of these things really can change for me. And when I started to change them, I was at the point where I didn't realize that I felt so bad until I felt so good. And so that's true for so many people is they just don't realize how they feel until they're like way up here.
Yep. I like to say like the possibilities are endless. And that's so true because, when you reach certain levels of your health, and I'll see this with my clients also, is that they come in, they feel like crap, and then we would do some work and they start feeling better. And I'm like, I even question them like, well, now what do you want next? Right? Like I've had clients that have worked with me for 6 years not because they're not getting results, but because they're in that pursuit of like, well, what more can I have now? How much better could I feel? Right? They get back to their baseline, and it's like an athlete training for the Olympics. You've got like, you become an athlete as a kid, and like you maybe make the all-star team in high school, and then you're like, well, how much better could I do? Like maybe I can do it in college, and then you're like, how much better can I do? Maybe I can make it to the Olympics. And so we see that with people that are working with their health too, and that's really cool also. And when you do attract the right clients, so utilizing the tips that I shared with you guys today, here's the other cool thing is that when you apply those principles and you do attract the right clients, then the referral train starts rolling in. So when I look at these 3 clients that I enrolled and over the last like 2 months, I've actually enrolled quite a number of clients, and some of them have come directly off of my social media from me just being consistent about being visible. And then some of them have come from other clients referring them to me, right? And I will see that too. Like clients will refer somebody to me, and that person will go stalk me on social media for a while because they're like wanting to get to know what I'm all about. So that's where that consistency comes into play and is really important again. And then eventually, again, when the timing is right for them, they will reach out to me and schedule a consultation, and then they typically end up enrolling as a result of that.
Yeah, my business is mostly referrals as well. And, I'm always telling people that when you have those clients that are really successful, the other clients are just going to roll in because they are going to say, what did you do? You look amazing. And they're going to say, oh, I worked with so-and-so. And then you are going to end up with that referral-based business. And so that's one of the super awesome things about FDN is how those referrals easily just start to roll in.
Mm-hmm. And I love some of the comments that we're getting. If anybody has any questions or wants to ask anything specifically, like please type it in. I see Buddy saying like being totally online. I love the possibilities. It can help so many. Yeah. I mean, this is the cool thing too, is that I don't know. I think you also, Piper, have clients all over the world. Like I have clients I'm in San Diego, and I have clients in Australia. I have clients in Canada. I have clients in the UK, and then I have clients all over the US. So being virtual and being online, I mean, that's really, really cool thing about the consistency and the clarity with your messages. You can reach people all over the world when you're doing that. And FDN supports us, provides resources for us to be able to do testing with people all over the world, which is super awesome as well too. And Clarissa is saying here like that she signed up for the FDN course so that she could get to the next level. Heck yeah, Clarissa, that's awesome. Because she's so tired of seeing people around her suffering in fear with their health during this pandemic. And that's so true. You know, like the terminology or like, you know, the narrative right now is that, well, if you're immunocompromised, you're at risk for getting COVID. And I would say that like, you know, everybody's immunocompromised to a certain extent. Sure, we have people that have higher levels of being immunocompromised, like our autoimmune people or the people that are really dealing with some health issues. But if you're stressed out on any level, you're immunocompromised, by the way. And even like you were saying, Piper, that you didn't think that you had anything to fix, but when you went through the FDN course, like you realized that there was a lot of healing opportunities there for you too, which is very important to emphasize. Again, as I said earlier, that there's this hyper awareness around health right now. So even the people out there that are feeling like they're in decent health are probably also wondering how they take their health to the next level so that they can prevent getting COVID or future diseases or pandemic things that are going to happen. Because this isn't the first one, you know?
No. And, you know, I think this one probably is going to change it for all future pandemics. But, you know, on your point about, you know, people work with you and then they keep working with you because they want to see how much more they can improve, how much better they can get. I think it's the same thing for health coaches out there that are struggling. They want to see how much better they can get. And I think that the FDN course absolutely delivers that. It gives them those next level skills so that they can help people that are struggling with their health.
Yeah. And we also have this wonderful community that includes people like me and you that help, you know, each other out and figuring out how to pivot and how to do these things and how to keep building and growing your business or where to get started. You know, when the COVID-19 happened, like the FDN staff came together and they created a social media challenge that then was rolled out within the FDN community to help the FDN trainees and practitioners, graduates get visible online during this time. Like it was pre-made content that was just handed over to them. And as an entire community, we all ran the sleep challenge at the same time. And by doing that, you know, on social media, it kind of blew it up. Like we were wanting to like break the internet per se by all promoting this sleep challenge. And it's been incredible to watch like some of our trainees and graduates now, you know, a month or two after the sleep challenge, they're sharing stories with us about how, you know, giving them this content and helping them to create visibility and consistency in their social media was like a starting step for, you know, stone for them. Like some of them were saying they wanted to get on social media and they didn't know how to do it, or, you know, they needed that nudge, and this helped them. And then others are also reporting back to us about how it's helped them to grow their email list. It's helped them to grow their following. They were able to enroll people in group programs or things that they offered, and they're getting clients out of it as well. And so that's one of the things that I just love so much about, you know, FDN and being a part of this group, is that we all band together to help each other out, so that we can just have a greater impact in the world.
Absolutely. I think FDN has the greatest community that I've ever been a part of. Like, it's simply amazing. Buddy said that he has a 14,000 member group. I am super impressed, Buddy. That is awesome. That concentrates on gallbladder issues, and he cannot wait to help so many of them. Yeah, Buddy, that's incredible. And we cannot wait to see what you do with that group as well.
Awesome. Great. Well, do we have any other questions or things that we want to share today, Piper?
Yeah, let's see. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat. And if you are just joining us, you're watching the replay, drop the word client into the chat, and we are going to send you our 10 tips and tools for your online coaching business. So make sure to drop the word client into the chat. And we'll kind of see, I don't see any other questions rolling in. Did you have any other tips, tools, or resources you wanted to share before we sign off today, Jen?
I just think that 10 tips document is super helpful for people. So definitely drop the word client below the video here and make sure you get that as a resource. And I just want to, emphasize the 3 C's again: clear message, concise packages, and consistency. Like time and time again in your business, this is always what you need to have. You have to stay focused on these. They need to be the core, another C there for you, right? The core components of any starting, growing, or flourishing of your business. It's got to be there. So really write those things down, take them to note, for yourself, and apply them. Start applying them now. And I see some people dropping the word client in here to get the tips document about running an online business, because we want to help you guys out. Your time is now, you guys.
So what was your saying yesterday? We were talking about this and you said, if you're not consistent,
you're non-existent.
I love it, Jen. That saying is fantastic. Thank you, Jen, for joining me today. Jen is actually going to join me again tomorrow for the Real Results Show. So we will continue with the Jen Jam this week. But we will be back here same time next week. We're going to have a brand new topic to share with you guys. So thank you for joining us for Health Coach Tip Tuesday. Thank you, Jen, for joining me.
Awesome. It was so great to be here, and great questions and comments from everybody. Love seeing all of our viewers here contributing to the conversation. So thank you so much, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. We will see you. Join us tomorrow. If not, we will absolutely see you guys next week. So have a great afternoon.
Bye.